everybody. It's another Al Gattulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970. The Answer. We are already in the middle of March. Spring is just a few days away, and with it, warmer weather. You know, we got a taste of it earlier this week. Back to winter. But we're almost there. Hang on. We've had a heck of a lot of snow in the Northeast, a lot of cold weather, but we're almost there. We're almost at spring. Can't wait. Going to be a good time. It's going to be a good spring, too. By the way, the Joe Bonamassa show last weekend, I mentioned it a little bit, but wow. The man is amazing. He went on at 7:30. By 9:15, 9:20, done. Sold out. Red Bank, Count Basie. Always puts on a fantastic show. If you get a chance to see Joe Bonamassa, do yourself a favor, go. If you're a blues guy, go. You will not be disappointed. It's tremendous. His band is super tight. Good stuff. Coming up in 20 minutes, Ronnie Scouten from Autodidact joins me on the program from Autodidact. They'll be on the final two segments of the show. Third anniversary party happening the weekend of March 20th, which is coming up in just a few short days. Just as spring, what is it? Hope springs eternal, right? The interview comes your way in just about 20 minutes from now. But we certainly have some beer news to get to, so let's get into it. Resurgence Brewing, you know, now that I think about it, I believe I made mention of these guys a while ago that they're a Buffalo-based brewery, but they are opening in Fort Myers, Florida, and they're open now. I mean, which is pretty impressive. I don't know how you make the connection from Buffalo to Fort Myers. I guess maybe there's a lot of people that used to live in Buffalo or, go back and forth. There are people that go to Florida and come back up east or up north for the spring and summer. But they have opened their Fort Myers tap room. They've poured their hearts into the project. They're thrilled they can finally share the space with this awesome community. And we invite you to stop by, enjoy some delicious food and great beer. Raise a glass to this new chapter with us. Cheers, Fort Myers. So the Resurgence place in Buffalo has food. They also have food down here in Fort Myers, obviously known for their wings, as they say, burgers and other stuff, too. So that's great. Fort Myers. I'm hoping that there is a flight from Buffalo that flies direct to Fort Myers. That would be the advantageous thing to do, wouldn't it? I don't know. Kudos to them. Nice to see a brewery expanding as opposed to closing, which is always a good thing. New Trail Brewing, speaking of expanding, they've expanded distribution into Western New York via Wright Beverage, marking their sixth state. For its New York launch, New Trail is shipping flagship Broken Heels Hazy IPA and a rotated limited releases that reflect New Trail's innovation pipeline. Broken Heels will be available on draft and in package as well. The territory of Wright Beverage stretches west from the beginning of New York's Finger Lakes region. It includes Cayuga, Seneca, Wayne, Schuler, Ontario, Yates, Steuben, Livingston, Monroe, Orleans, Genesee, Wyoming, Allegheny, Erie, Niagara, and Chautauqua counties. The 8-year-old craft brewery distributes in its home state of Pennsylvania. That accounts for 85% of their volume. Maryland, as well as New Jersey, West Virginia, and Delaware make up the remaining 15%. I've had a couple of New Trail beers. Good stuff. Nice to see that it's in the Finger Lakes region, especially Livingston. So hopefully over by the Livingston Manor. So we'll need to check them out when I'm up there, which is good stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, Emberside Brewing is doing a collab with New Trail. Not sure when that is going to be released, but when we get those details, we will certainly get them to you. Keeping it in New York State, the craft beer competition presented by Ultimate Brew Service is the largest state-level competition in the U.S., and this year more than 1,100 beers were judged by 72 industry professionals in 32 style categories. In addition to gold, silver, and bronze awarded in each category, judges selected the New York State Governor's Craft Beer Cup as Best in Show Beer. Find out who won during the awards ceremony, which is being hosted by Heartprint live from the Albany Capitol Center on Friday, March 20th. That's this coming Friday, March 20th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. You can stream it on their YouTube channel, New York State Craft Beer. It's in the bio, NYS Craft Beer. Click on that. It'll take you right to the YouTube channel. They're having watch parties all over New York State, places like Heritage Hill Brew House, Peacemaker Brewing Company, Prison City will be hosting one, West Hampton Beach Brewing in West Hampton, New York, Solitude Brewing Company in Lakeville, Spider Bite in Holbrook, Watershed in Geneva, and a bunch of other places as well. So if you want to tune into that, Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and find out who won the New York State Craft Beer Competition, including the New York State Governor's Craft Beer Cup. And then finally, I want to take a couple of minutes here to talk about this because the New York City Brewers Guild just finished up New York City Beer Week about a week or so ago. The kickoff, of course, was 10 days before at the Brooklyn Monarch, all put together not only by the New York City Brewers, but by Ann Riley, the executive director of the New York City Brewers Guild. She announced last week that she is stepping down as of April 1st, her role as the executive director. She wrote in a lengthy Instagram post that after 6.5 years in the position, the Guild's funding has reached a point where a paid directorship is no longer sustainable. It's not coming as a surprise to her or the board. They've seen it coming for quite some time. They've been stretching every dollar to keep the role going as long as possible. The board and the Guild will now be transitioning back to a fully volunteer-led structure and working more closely with and leaning on the New York State Brewers Association to ensure that their community continues to have the full support and representation needed. So this is part of what Ann had to say. I'm not going to read the whole thing. If you want to go on the New York NYC Brewed, you can check it out there. She said, I want to be straightforward about that because this community has always deserved transparency, and I also want to use this moment to say what I can never truly say enough. Thank you. She said, when I stepped into this role in 2019, none of us could have predicted what was coming. Within months, we were navigating a pandemic that threatened to shut down every aspect of our industry, from tap rooms to brew houses, and every small business dream in the 5 boroughs. What I saw from all of you during that time is something I will carry with me for the rest of my career. You kept going. You adapted quickly. You looked out for each other. My job was to make sure you had the information, the government guidance and contacts, and the advocacy you needed in real time, and I dedicated all I could to do that. But the resilience was yours. And she went on about talking about the projects and the things they built together, their Outsmart initiative, a safety advocate program, a code of conduct, a standard operating procedure that other organizations have looked to model. They built working relationships with a bunch of city agencies. And, of course, New York City Beer Week and Opening Bash, year after year. The event was still held, even though it was canceled. Actually, was it canceled in 21? I don't remember. I think it might have been. I don't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, the bottom line is Ann Riley has done such an unbelievable job to help New York City breweries and to further their goal and making connections within city government, working with the New York State Brewers Guild, doing all of these things to forward beer's mission in New York City. And Ann has done that over 6.5 years. And I get it. Times are tight. Economy, money is tight. And they've decided that they can no longer have a paid person in this role. And I don't remember if Ann was full-time, part-time, whatever. She was full-time. It was her life's blood. She bled for the New York City Brewers. And I have to tell you, Ann, if you're listening, what an amazing job in 6.5 years that you did with the New York City Brewers Guild. Navigating that pandemic, doing what you could. I mean, they had an event. I think it was 21. The following year, they had they had an event, and it was outdoors. It was as safe as it could possibly be. I couldn't believe how cold it was that day. But the Brewers were there. They came out. They supported. My wife lasted 20 minutes. I get it. I was there for about an hour and a half. But we were all there to support New York City beer. And then year after year, doing the events in Industry City, moving it now to the Brooklyn Monarch, which was a great event. Was it smaller? Yes. Less people drinking? Yes. But the camaraderie, the people that are involved, thanks to all the brewers who all pitched in and helped out. And I have to tell you, even at the last event at the Brooklyn Monarch, how many people were coming over to Ann. Hey, thank you. Thanks for all the help. Hey, I've got a question. Can you help me with this? Always available. Ann was always available to me in this program to help promote, Opening Bash, to help promote other projects that the New York City Brewers Guild had going on. And, that's why it is so important to not only support the breweries that you go and support, but it's also important to support the guild, whatever guild it is in whatever city or state that you live in. Support them. If they're doing something, go to it. Know that the money that you're spending is going to help the brewers, which in turn helps to get them more involved in state government, have a choice and have decisions that they can make. And that money helps, whether it's to pay for the executive director, whether it's to pay for the lobbyist who is working on their behalf to move things forward so they can get laws passed so that will favor them and help them. That is an enormous thing. And what Ann has done for the New York City Brewers Guild and for New York City beer in general has been nothing short of amazing. She is a force to be reckoned with. Whatever she does in the future, much success to her. Kudos to you, Ann. You're an amazing human being. Proud to know you. Proud to call you a friend. And I know she'll be there until the end of this month, and she'll continue to support New York craft beer, and that's always a good thing. But losing Ann is a big to-do, and I hope that everybody in the Brewers Guild picks up and carries where she left off. I'm sure they will. When we come back after a short break, more news and notes from around the beer world. This is the Algatulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Welcome back to the Algatulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. A couple of days away from St. Patrick's Day. Hope you have enjoyed all the St. Patrick's Day celebrations throughout and have drank responsibly. I don't really partake in it. First of all, I'm not Irish. Second of all, I find St. Patty's Day to be the amateur drunk day, where everybody goes out and tries to drink as much as they can. Not my bag. Coming up in just a little bit, Ron Cassell, Ronnie Scouten from Autodidact joined me on the program. Third anniversary party happening the weekend of March 20th. That's this coming week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Saturday is going to be killer. I will be there. Lots of good things. It all starts in just under 10 minutes from now. Let us dive into some news. Beer's looking at you. They have decided, this is brewery in Texas, little beer bar in Webster, Texas. They are closing at the end of this month. They want you to come in and raise a glass or a few crowlers during this final month together. They'll have some updates and stuff on their Facebook page. They opened back on April 1st, 2016. So almost 10 years to the day, they are closing their place. Again, it's economics. It's a part of all these things, and it's never a good thing, right? You don't want to see breweries or bars closing, but again, it's the economics of it. And you have to change with the times. I get food costs are high for places that are opening, but you need to bring in, a meal that is affordable so that people will want to go back over and over and over again and not feel the pinch in their wallet. Unless you're going to be the type of place that's going to have high-end food that you're expecting a customer to come in, say in the month of January, and then not come back till April, and then maybe come back again in the fall. 3 times a year customer, maybe you survive depending on the tables. I don't know about that. Speaking of which, Triumph Brewing Company in New Hope closed permanently just this last Monday. They said in a statement, we'd like to express our heartfelt thanks to the many guests who dined and drank with us over the last 23 years and to our employees whose hard work and dedication made it possible. We look forward to seeing you at our Princeton and Red Bank locations. The story that I'm hearing is that rent was jumped way too high. They decided not to pay it, and they decided to get out from their New Hope location and just maintain their Princeton and Red Bank spots. Totally understand it. I get it. Again, I think this is a situation where landlords also have to say, all right, they've been in business 23 years. They've had some ups and downs. Do we really need to jack their rent up that high? They did. Triumph blinked, said, nope, we're not going to do this. We're going to consolidate a little bit, and there you go. Half Acre and Maplewood Brewery and Distillery in Chicago have joined forces together. This is a big deal. Maplewood, I think, put this statement out. They said, we will join together to create a premier Chicago beverage company. We combine as individually strong, complementary businesses that share similar visions for the future of our industry and city. The deal should close by May. CEO Kevin McGillen of Half Acre becomes the new CEO of the joint venture. They will operate independently in the market, but behind the scenes, the partnerships will help them leverage shared capabilities in operation, distribution, compliance, and innovation. Half Acre is celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. Maplewood opened in 2014 and acquired the facility of the now-shuttered Two Hound Red Brewing in Glen Ellen, Illinois, about 30 miles west of its brewery in Chicago's Logan Square just last year. With 3 facilities, the new company will do the bulk of its production at Half Acre, including the volume Maplewood currently brews under contract elsewhere. So kudos to them. Again, it's one of these situations where you're really starting to see breweries come together and say, hey, how can we work together to further our efforts and not close? And this is good to see in certain instances. And I think this will work out very nicely. Our good friends from Sam Adams have introduced the Our City, Our Beer Variety Pack because who knows Boston better than Samuel Adams? I would tend to agree with that. So Celtics guard Derek White, Garrett Crochet from the Red Sox, Julian Edelman, 3-time Super Bowl championship winner from the Patriots, and Zdeno Chara from the Bruins have all gotten together with Samuel Adams. It is a 12-pack that features 4 distinct beers that blend the grit, pride, and powerhouse spirit that define Boston sports and Samuel Adams' pursuit of better beer. So Derek's beer is a white ale, Crochet's beer is a pale ale, Julian's beer is an Edelbrauer lager, and Zdeno Chara's beer, Big Z, is a Pilsner. The 12-pack is available in New England now. It delivers a true 4-sport, 4-season lineup, but that's not the only way that fans can get in on the action. During each sports season, each beer will rotate on draft so fans can raise a glass to their teams at tap rooms and bars when it matters most. Sam Adams will drop player-exclusive merchandise collection to help fans gear up like a legend. Expect bar decor, accessories, and wearables like vintage-inspired Letterman jackets. Derek's collection has already dropped. Go to shop.samueladams.com if you want to purchase something. So, again, the white ale is a 5.3% ABV. That's on draft from March to May. Crochet's Pale Ale, 5.8% ABV. That's on draft starting in June until August. Julian's Beer, which is a lager at 6.2%. It's pretty high for a lager. That'll be on draft from September to November. And Big Z's Pilsner is a 5% ABV. That will be on draft from December through February. That's kind of cool. So you have a different beer for different seasons. Obviously, if you get the 12-pack, you get all of them in there. But that's really cool stuff from Samuel Adams. And then before we get to Gary Monteroso's things you may have missed for this week's program, actor George Clooney and his partners, Randy Gerber, who is married to Cindy Crawford, and real estate developer Mike Meldman have put together a non-alcoholic beer. They're diving into the NA space. They announced Crazy Mountain just this past Monday, a non-alcoholic lager-style beer. Clooney says it'll give people the taste of beer without the after effects. Crazy Mountain will debut in select U.S. markets, including Los Angeles later this month. Clooney previously co-founded the Casa Amigos tequila brand with Gerber. In 2017, they sold it to beverage giant Diego in a deal worth up to $1 billion. So there you go. George Clooney getting into the non-alcoholic space. Again, we've seen Tom Holland has Bureau, and I think Robert Downey Jr. is a partner in it, but he has a coffee. We're seeing a lot of this non-alcoholic brands. Again, Athletic is the number one, right? They're on the top. Everybody else sort of follows. And they've done a tremendous job by Coastal churning out their beers. I haven't had Bureau yet. I've not had this Crazy Mountain. If I come across it, I will certainly buy it. I have seen far more bars and restaurants carrying Athletic Brewing products. That's a good thing. Whether or not these other brands can make an impact on the non-alcoholic beer scene, that's going to be the interesting thing. We will see what happens there. Again, if the beer is good, not a problem. If the beer isn't good and it's got an aftertaste or something's going on there, never a good thing. For my money, of the big brands, and I know I say I put Athletic at the top. I'm talking about breweries that do non-alcoholic beer as well as alcoholic beer. For my money, Estrella Galicia, one of the best non-alcoholic lagers I've ever had. It's a fantastic beer. Really, really good. That's good stuff. And Sam Adams, Non-alcoholic IPA is very good as well. All right, here is the latest from our good friend Gary Monterosso in Things You May Have Missed. This is talking about buying beer.
I'm Gary Monterosso for the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast. Buying beer can be quite costly. To ensure you're getting your money's worth, here are some tips to consider. Opt for cold beer. Keeping beer cold extends its freshness, plus it's ready to drink right away. Choose beer from a high-volume retailer. This increases your chances of getting a fresher product. Canned and dark bottled beers deteriorate at a slower rate compared to those in clear glass. If your preferred beer comes in clear glass, steer clear of stores with brightly lit coolers, as excessive light can adversely affect the taste. And check the Best Buy or bottled on dates to select beer with the longest shelf life possible. This is particularly important if you're organizing an event and are uncertain about how much beer you'll need.
All excellent points. Thank you, Gary. We do appreciate it. Again, Best Buy dates or born on dates when the beer was canned. That's always important, but I think that's more important for me personally, IPAs. IPAs have a shelf life of maybe 30 to 60 days. You got to drink them then. After that, you can still drink it if it's refrigerated, but honestly, not going to be as fresh. That's just my personal opinion. But Gary, as always, we thank you. When we come back after a short break, the boys from Autodidact, Ronnie Squared, Ron Cassell, Ronnie Scouten, join me on the program. This is the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Welcome back to the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970, The Answer. Thanks for joining us. A couple of days away from St. Patrick's Day, but, it's also a couple of days away, just about a week or so, until the anniversary of Autodidact Brewing, their third anniversary. They are the founders of this killer brewery right off of Route 10 in Morris Plains, New Jersey. They're open Tuesday through Sunday. For more information on the brewery, you can follow their Facebook page, Autodidact. That's AUTODIDACT. It's also their Instagram account, or you can head over, of course, to autodidactbeer.com. As I said, their third anniversary takes place the weekend of March 20th. I'm going to welcome back to the Craft Beer Cast Ronnie Scouten. Ronnie Cassell is busy manning the canning machine because they've got anniversary beers cranking out. Ronnie, how are you?
I'm swell, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's get right into it. So the third anniversary is coming up. What crazy releases are you going to have? Are there going to be releases each day over the weekend, or are you putting them out all at once?
I think we're going to do it all at once this year. We did it. We staggered them last year, but then some people can't make it out to a specific day or anything like that. And so if we did 2 on one day, 2 on the other day, I don't want to mess with anybody's grabbing beers that they might want the next day or whatever. And if they're in town for a couple hours, So we're going to drop everything on Saturday.
Okay.
This year, which is what, the 21st or 22nd?
21st.
This Saturday, the following. And then, we've got 4 really fun collaborations lined up for this year. And we always try to do at least 4, and it should be a blast.
So I don't want to give not too much away because I know you guys want to release stuff, but of the collabs, are they all local New Jersey? Are they some New Jersey, some elsewhere? Can you give us a little hint as to where they're at?
I can certainly give you some details for sure. And to be honest with you, most of it's not New Jersey.
Okay.
We went a little bit. We cast a wider net this year. We are. We did a beer with Widowmaker from Massachusetts, from the Boston area. We have a beer coming out with Requiem Beer, which is 2 guys from the Philadelphia area, and they used to be from Bond Place and a couple other spots, and really, really great guys. Really stoked on that beer. We have a 4-way collab with Twin Elephant, Oak Flower, and Other Half.
Nice.
And then we have a beer coming out with Over Creek up in Beacon, New York, just outside of Beacon.
Nice. All right. So details will be of the beers will be coming out shortly. So just check your socials for that. Now it goes without saying there's going to be plenty of entertainment. Are there bands going to be performing? Is it a DJ, a combo of both?
Actually, we are without sound this weekend, and we're going to let the staff pick some really fun music, and we're just going to lean into it. We have food all weekend for sure.
Okay.
So we've got pizza on Friday. We've got salt pepper ketchup on Saturday. So sandwiches are excuse me. And then on Sunday we've got Cousin's Maine lobster on. So, and we're going to do vinyl all day on Sunday, like we always do. So bring your records in. We'll share records, share music.
Nice.
And we do that all day Sunday to wrap up the party.
If folks haven't been to Autodidact, that's one of the cool things that they do. They do this vinyl thing. They do it on Wednesdays. They do it on Sundays. You bring your vinyl. They'll put it on. They play a side of it. It's awesome. I've shocked people at the place. I love it. That's the great thing about it. We're talking with Ronnie Scouten, one of the owners of Autodidact, right off of Route 10 on Morris Plains, New Jersey. They're open Tuesday through Sunday. The third anniversary party is the weekend of March 20th. The beers will drop on the 21st. For more info on the brewery, you can follow their Facebook page, Autodidact. That's also their Instagram account, or you can just head over to autodidactbeer.com or on the Algatulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Now, speaking of music, you guys just did a fundraiser for some friends of the brewery who is dealing with leukemia. How did this come about, Autodidact helping her?
So this was our talent booker, Craig, who a lot of folks know from being in the music scene for a long time. He books music for a bunch of really great places. He books music for Twin Elephant. He books music for Crows up in Sparta. He books for Flounder Brewing. He books for us. And he's in a band called Hidden Cabins, and the guy who's in the band with him, his wife, Jeanette, unfortunately was diagnosed with leukemia. And as you know, bills can get very expensive. Yep. And so Craig put together a show of just all of our favorite local bands and a bunch of other really cool bands. And it was like an all-day affair. We had food, we had, music, and it was a really, really nice and humbling and awesome fundraiser. I believe Craig said that we raised over like $6,300 across a couple of different platforms, including the show, to help Jeanette and Brian with their situation. And but it was awesome. A lot of really fun bands. It's cool to see the community come together like that. And it's a really nice. Ron and I have always strive to have this place be a place for people to, for community to come together. So this whole weekend was a great example of just what that felt like, So it was really, really humbling.
Now, Ronnie, if folks still want to contribute to the GoFundMe, can they do so? Is it still open?
That's a great question. I'm not totally sure if there is still a GoFundMe going. But Craig's Instagram is House Without Walls on Instagram. Okay. And if you check him out or if you shoot him a message, he might be able to point you in the right direction. If it's still open, I'm sure they'd be happy for any help that they could get, for sure.
Absolutely. And to be able to raise, close to $6,500, that is very impressive over, a 3-4 day span or a week span. That's great.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Talking about anniversary parties and beers that you guys come up with and collabs and things of that nature, when you're working on anniversary beers, now you've done it for the last 2 years that you've had these anniversary beers, are you always thinking, let's do collaborations, or is there a different process? Is it, hey, maybe let's do a stout, let's do an IPA, and let's do maybe a grisette or something like that? Or is it always, hey, let's get together a bunch of our friends that support us and see what beer that they want to do, and we'll kind of collab around that?
Well, yeah, so that's kind of the, we over the course of the year, we always end up, rubbing elbows or hanging out with different people, and it's always a lot of fun. And, like the beauty of the collaboration portion of this industry is that we get to work together with people that do things maybe a little bit differently, and you get to learn. It's always a learning experience, and it's always an opportunity to get to hang with people that do different things. And, I met Kevin from Requiem. He's a bartender at Human Robot in Philly. Okay. And so my best buddy Dan lives down there, and I would go visit him, and we would sit at the bar, and I would I would talk with Kevin, and he was we would chat a little bit about what he was doing and stuff, because they kind of contract brew out of like different places, and then they use a distributor to send their beer around. But they're making really cool beer, and then I saw them. They did a collab with The Seed down in Atlantic City, and so I finally hit up Kevin, was like, let's do something. And we decided we were going to do something for our anniversary. And, and then you get to chat with them. Like, they worked at Bond Place, so they've brewed a lot of English style stuff. And then, those guys also are putting out some really killer beer. So then they've got a lot of experience. So it's really fun, and it's a great opportunity to also bring people together, and, this 4-way collab. The idea was to have people that had such an impact on us as brewers and, in the industry,
right,
come together and all contribute something to a beer. So we each picked a different hop for a hoppy beer. So Oak Flower picked one, Twin Elephant picked one, we picked one, and then other half picked one. So,
nice.
And it was just a fun way to put it all together and kind of have this, experience and see how these beers see how these hops play together. And it should be a lot of fun. It's a good opportunity. I mean, it's always crazy to, the fact that I even get to hang and talk with the guys from Other Half is still very bizarre.
But Ronnie, that's the thing I want to ask you, because you talked about this last time I had you on the program. You guys were so stoked to do a collab with Other Half. I don't want to say, people use this term loosely, but when you get to meet your heroes in
Sure.
whatever it is, whether it's entertainment or music or beer or whatever the case may be, when you get to meet somebody that has had such a profound impact on your life and the people that have produced Other Half beer over the years, what is that like? Are you fumbling like the little kid back in the classroom again? Like, I don't know what to say, but you already know that.
I try to play it cool,
right? But you know that you're a brewer and you know how to brew beer, and you guys are just killing it in New Jersey. So, take me through that experience when you meet these guys for the first time, and you're about to do a collab together.
Yeah, man, it's still bizarre. It's so fun because it's just, we're all normal folks. We all, come from the same world. Other Half has just become such a big operation. It's crazy. But, when my wife and I lived in Queens, we used to, we were line folk. That's where Ron and I really started hitting it off, spending more time together and stuff. So, these places bring us together, and, they're doing exactly what we did or we're doing, and it's always fun to just get to chat with people and just hear different, I don't know, it's still bizarre. I mean, as another example that's kind of, in a similar vein, we had a show on Sunday. We had the Obsessed come play.
Right.
They've been around forever, good stoner rock band from the 70s and 80s, and Wino and all of them came, and it was great.
Right.
And Travis, I had my taproom staff texted me before I got there that Travis from Coed and Cambria was here, just hanging out, watching the show. And you're like, man, I was like, I saw them at Madison Square Garden last year. Now he's hanging out in my humble little brewery. So it's very strange, man. It's very cool,
but it's great.
It's fun, man. There's been a handful of people that have come through these doors, and I'm like, what are you doing? Ron and I joked around the other day. It's like when people walk through the door, you're like, oh, my God, I can't believe people are coming here still. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's very cool.
Well,
very exciting.
I hope you don't do that when I walk in the door next Saturday, for the anniversary party, because I'm just a humble beer drinker. That's all. That's it. I don't need any accolades.
That's what I'm saying, though. Yeah, listen, first of all, when you come through, we're going to stop the music. But, it's even just people, the humble beer drinkers that come through, you're always just like, man, that's awesome that you guys are even here, so it's cool.
I get it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to chat more with Ronnie Scouten. Ronnie Cassell, who's the other owner of the brewery, he is busy trying to get the can line fixed so they can can some great anniversary beer for everybody. Back with Ronnie Scouten in just a moment from Autodidact Brewing on the Algatulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. And welcome back. Final segment of the Algatulo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer, and we are rejoined by one of the co-owners of Autodidact Brewing, Ronnie Scouten, as the anniversary party is taking place next weekend at their brewery, and the big drops, the 4 collabs that are going to be dropping, they'll be dropping on Saturday the 21st. I will be there. I hope to see you there as well. It's going to be a great time. So, Ronnie, the build-out, how has the build-out progressed with the equipment from tanks to a stage in the new space? How has that been working out for you guys?
We are taking our time with that, for sure. That is one of those things that we are currently in the process of ramping up production here in the space that we have now, and trying to really, really focus on the product and getting as much liquid out as we possibly can right now. So it's a slow burn, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
better to take your time than try and rush it. I've seen so many breweries that have tried to expand, and they run into so many different problems. And part of it, I think, is the red tape that you have to deal with. It's not so much that, hey, I can get a construction crew and they'll bang it out in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's all of the permits and the checking and the this and the that, and you're at their mercy and not so much your timetable. So I totally understand. Now,
it's a very different. I'm sorry if
no, go ahead.
But it's very different because we also now are in operation now too. When we were building out the space that we're currently in, we weren't brewing, we were building.
Right.
So now it's also like, we've got to keep up with production also.
Right.
Building out again, it feels like starting over, and then also, trying to maintain the production as well. So,
I get it.
Bear with us.
I get it. And now you expanded into the New York beer scene back in November when we last talked. How has that been received? And are you getting folks coming into the tap room based on discovering your beer in New York City?
I'm going to say I think so. It's been really awesome. Larissa and Bird's Beer Distribution are such cool partners to have. She was here the other night to pick up, and she hung out for a beer. And we got to hang out with her for a little bit. And, we were like, how's it going? She's like, I wish I had more. And I'm like, well, that's good.
Always
that's a good sign. But yeah, I don't know. I had a brief stint of living in New York City, and it's, I hold it very close to my heart. So having my beer in New York is always, it's very cool to have it over there. It sounds like it's doing okay, so that's good. And then we're trying to get him some more, so that comes with the ramp up of our production, is to try and get some more liquid into New York City and into some of our favorite bars and liquor stores and all those things. And we have a tap takeover tomorrow. I don't know when this comes out, Al, but it's at Coven Hoven in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
So with Nightmare, who just signed on with Bird's Beer as well.
Yes. So, Nightmare. I met those owners at the kickoff to New York City Beer Week a couple of weeks back. Yeah. And I love their beer. My buddy at Paragon Tap and Table, Tom Funk, behind the bar, he introduced me to Nightmare, and he loves those guys. First off, I love their can art. The can art is out of bounds.
Yeah, it's so metal. Yeah,
totally,
we love that.
Totally. And so I'm completely sold on it. But, boy, I'll tell you, what a great conversation I had with them. And I think they had 4 different beers, and I think the one that I had at New York City Beer Week, it was a dark beer. I think it was a Schwartz beer that they had. It was phenomenal, and what a great conversation. And I know they're sort of gypsy brewers. They don't really have a space, but boy, I love those guys. They're fantastic.
I'm stoked to be stoked to be able to work with them a little bit more often, and hopefully line something up with those guys sooner rather than later too, because we're all metal guys, so the opportunity to work with more metal guys is fun.
That would be pretty cool. We're talking with Ronnie Scouten. He's one of the owners of Autodidact right off of Route 10 in Morris Plains, New Jersey. They're open Tuesday through Sunday, and their anniversary party is coming up the weekend of March 20th, which you're listening to this on a Sunday night, will be the coming weekend coming up on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, all 4 collabs will be dropping on Saturday. Again, you can follow the brewery on their Instagram page or on Facebook at Autodidact. That's AUTODIDACT, or you just head over to their website, autodidactbeer.com. We're here on the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Ronnie, one thing that doesn't get talked about a lot here, and one thing that you guys do is you guys also produce coffee. Now,
correct.
Do you process? I don't think I've ever asked this of you guys. Do you process all of the coffee beans at your establishment, or is it done elsewhere? And how did this part of the business start up?
I would love to roast our own beans, and hopefully someday down the line we will. And if more folks come and get coffee, maybe we can. My friend Matt, who, I grew up in rural northern New Jersey, and so did he. We were all in bands together, just dumb metal bands, and he ended up being a tour manager for a bunch of pretty bigger, significant bands, between The Buried and Me, which is where Autodidact comes from. I think he worked with them for a long time. Dillinger Escape Plan is another New Jersey band. And then he ended up working with tour managing for a band called Periphery, who's still active and all that stuff. And I think him and the guitarist Misha ended up falling in love with coffee, and he opened up a roastery in Orange County, California, called Golden Lantern.
Oh, wow.
And he would send over, we'd start talking about getting coffee in, and we started to partner up with him. And he would send over different origin beans and blending some stuff. And, we got to toy around with some stuff. And then, so he produces the coffee for us based on what our preferences and all that stuff. So he's a really great partner to have. His name's Matt Rosenblum. Yeah, Golden Lantern Coffee in Orange County. It's great.
Nice.
You can order our coffee online, and you can order his coffee online as well.
And you can buy your coffee at your place, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we do pour overs as well. We do have coffee on site, and we like you said, yes, you can also buy whole bean coffee at the brewery as well.
Okay, so when you do buy it at the brewery, it's whole bean. It's not already ground. You can ground
Correct.
it there as well.
I don't grind here,
Okay.
so yeah, you would have to have your own grinder at home.
Got it. Now, what's up next music-wise after the anniversary party? Everything kind of slows down a little. I shouldn't say slow down, but it gets a little less hectic. That folks can buy tickets for. What's the next set of music that's coming out?
Al, I don't have anything on the books for ticketed events right now. We do have music every Saturday in here. Sometimes it's a singer-songwriter or a solo artist, and that's always a thing that's going on in here. But then we do also have like full band nights, like about once a month, focusing more on like local artists and stuff like that as well. But we have so I don't know much about Ween, admittedly, but people love Ween, and apparently there's a specific Ween show that was huge, and everybody that is a big Ween fan talks about it. So we actually have a Ween cover band playing on that day, I believe.
Nice.
I believe it's April.
Okay.
But yeah, so you can see all that on autodidactbeer.com/events. We have everything on there because, like Craig, our music booker, as previously mentioned, he always puts together a really fun lineup of bands over the. We'll certainly have a bunch of stuff lined up over the next couple months for sure. Didn't find anything that would fall into place. Usually, we like to have like a touring artist come through or something like that for the anniversary, and we had the Obsessed last weekend, so that kind of took the cake.
That's all right. That's all right. Now, as you move into year 4, the beer is out there. People know about the bands, the event space that you're building out. Distro into other states is happening. What is one goal for this coming year for you guys?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. I'm going to say that my main goal is to push this as hard as I possibly can. Get as much liquid out as possible. Anything from our house pale daylily to newer collaborations and stuff. But yeah, my main focus right now is to just churn and burn as much delicious liquid as I can put out for people, and get as many people to really come and have continue to build our community. There's definitely we want to make sure that we have the folks of Morris County and the surrounding counties are still aware of us. Brand awareness, all that stuff. Keep spreading the good word about Autodidact.
Yeah. Well, I mean, social media has a lot to do with it, and I know there's issues with social media with people with algorithms and all kinds of stuff, but you guys do such an amazing job with that, and that is always good. And, of course, the beer is fantastic. All right, my final question for you, Ronnie. If you could have one band play at Autodidact that hasn't played there yet, the dream band, right, which band would that be?
Now, let me ask you this, Al. This is going to be, our room is a 110 cap room.
Right.
Now, does it have to be a band that would play to 110 people, or would I be in? Okay,
it's got to fit the space. We want to keep everything legal.
Yeah, listen, I respect that. There's definitely, I don't know, man. See, like we had a band called Tiny Ships play here a couple of weeks ago, and the band that opened up for them is a couple of my friends that I've been playing with since I was probably 19, and they're still doing it and having a good time. And I would love to start bringing in some hardcore stuff or some a little bit more heavier stuff, but we do have a glass wall, which makes it very tricky.
Right.
For the aggressive music. But, I'll say my dear friends in Folly from northern Sussex County, rural New Jersey, they were my local band, and then they toured it for a long time, and then they still play big shows and whatever. They're friends of mine that I play fantasy baseball with. It'd be a lot of fun to have them come in. Or I want to say I want to keep it local if I could. You know what I mean? Like I do. That's a space very close to my heart. But
fair enough.
There's some Long Island bands too that I really love that are. There's This Is Hell, which is a fun band, and then there's some other really cool bands from that area. Would love to bring them all out and have some fun. But we're always discovering. You never know. It could always be. I could find a new band. I don't like the excuse that there's no new good music.
No, there is plenty of good music. You got to get out there and listen to it. My guest has been Ronnie Scouten. Right. One half of the owners of Autodidact right off of Route 10 on Morris Plains, New Jersey. The third anniversary party is this coming weekend, March 20th. The collabs drop on March 21st. Autodidact, Facebook or Instagram or autodidactbeer.com. Ronnie, thanks as always for joining me. I will see you next Saturday at the anniversary party. Looking forward to it.
Al, always a delight to chat with you on the phone, and looking forward to seeing you next week, man.
You got it, my friend. My thanks to everyone involved with the show, including my guest, Ronnie Scouten from Autodidact, and, of course, last but not least, the great Buddy Watson. Back Monday on the Joe Piscopo Show at 6 a.m. This has been the Al Gattullo Craft Beer Cast on AM 970 The Answer. Cheers, everybody.